Here we go. Da 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 da. What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. It is the first day of my work week in that job that puts the roof over my head. Super grateful to have that job because, like I say, almost every Thursday when it's time for me to go to back to work, that I'm like a bouquet of helium balloons, right? And without that job, right? And I'm not saying it's my forever job, but it's in the job that I have right moment that lets me root in it so that it reminds me that I'm human, right? That I am human. And it also, right, in being human, I need to be taken away from a lot of that. It is heavy. A lot of these lessons that I take in, they are heavy. And like I said, by the time it's time for me to go back to work, right, I could just go and off I go, right? So it brings me back to that ground level, to that first floor, right? And this week we had the word believe. We've been working with it. I chose the word this week. I won't be able to continue choosing the words because we're getting down to the wire now. We're getting down to the wire. And it looks like if I just stay on the game plan right now, I will be done these 54 words and showing up live I will continue to show up live, but I'll be coming to show up with something different, right? But this series is ending a week before I go on my big trip. And, it doesn't make allowances to do, right, any more words a second time, possibly one more word because, right, the way I counted it out, I am 1 week before, so I could throw in another word. And I was thinking, out of all those words that didn't get chosen, that if I don't choose a second, right, around with any of these words that come across my path, and I'm putting it out there, right, that as the human, that I will be made able to make that final powerful word choice and bring it to the table and throw everything I have into it. Once we've done, right, that 53rd word, if I have that one word left, I'm going to go right into that sheet and I'm going to pick on it and I'm going to be in it until I present it the following Monday, and then we'll work with it all week. And then, right, Cindy's on vacation, and it'll be a little bit different content, right? I am grateful that as I explore the inside and the outside, that people join me, right, in these big conversations that we have, right? This is a crazy town kind of world that we live in, and it is true. But I think in every generation, probably going back thousands and thousands and thousands of years, it has been a bit of a crazy town. It's only because we've never had these. We're moving forward. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new possibility for something amazing to happen or something a little bit crappy that we've got to deal with in the moment. And right, all of this is just in that preparedness, right? Of when these hiccups and when these failures and these heartbreaks and these moments of grief and these moments of joy and adventure pop into our life. Hello, Melvin. Hello, Andrew. We got the word believe this week. Not because I randomly chose it, but I looked back on that week that I gave my laptop away, right, to my friend, and he had that laptop for over a week, and I was kind of adapt and conquer, right, in my showing up fresh like a loaf of bread every single day. That, right, I totally made a mess of that number 10 word, which is this word, the 40th word, believe, that I decided this week, right, that we were going to do that word again. So if we're going to do that word again, we might as well just get right back into it. You know, I am taking lessons from all kinds of sources. I'm taking lessons from documentaries. I'm taking lessons from conversations. I'm taking lessons through that stewardship of Mother Nature. I am taking lessons in the peers and the people that I work with, through my customers in that job that I am grateful to ground in. I have taken lessons already. I came into this with experiences, didn't I? And experiences offer up lessons. And I've entered in with all those childhood and teen years and young adult, all those foolish, unaware years, right? I come in with lessons from all kinds of sources, all kinds of political ideas, right? Probably not too much, to be honest, with that. I have to say, because politics is not something that interests me in any way. Now, unkindness and unjustness, well, I'll be all over that, but only if it comes across my path, if it catches my attention, if it catches my curiosity, if it drums something in me. Otherwise, I've got my marching orders, right? And I know what I'm moving towards in this moment, right? The next moment, that political idea or that thing that gets me all going may walk across my path. But until that happens, right? We're in this. And in talking about belief uh, this week, it was really something that came to my attention was it's not the lack of belief, because I believe in that whatever or whoever that is, the follow me and where I'm going and what's coming across my path, and I'm paying attention to all of that, right? But sometimes, in our um, nurturing as children, we become products of our parents' beliefs, right? And in those traditions and those pass me downs in those traditions, right? In those household rules, in our religious ideas, and sometimes in those hardships that we have to endure where there doesn't seem to be any fairness in that, we build attitudes in that, and it becomes part of our indoctrination. And that's what I was taking in lessons on today. And this channel, I do believe I have been taking in few lessons, quite a few lessons from this gentleman's channel. I do believe he's actually an atheist, and he is moving on understandings on values, and he's moving, I do believe, a little bit in that realism, in that humanness, and right, I move in that, and so it makes it easy for me to take in those lessons without being, well, I'm still being influenced if I find it to be true for myself, but my childhood and my upbringing and in my beliefs right now that it takes all kinds to make the world, that I am not rooted, right, in the truth of any kind of religious or political idea. My mother was a Christian, and she did her very best to, right, influence us in a way that maybe we would pick up, right, Christianity. But she floated in all the different denominations in Christianity, and none of them, right, I'm going to say gratefully, um, rooted in me. So, my mother was a Jehovah Witness, but I never became a Jehovah Witness, right? But some of those lessons, I'm sure, were offered up as part of that indoctrination into my mother's belief at the time, right? My father was a mindset guy. He loved realism. He loved documentaries. He loved history. He loved the seriousness of the moment and looking at solutions to better the world. So he was a realist, and he dabbled in, like I do, in all those things, but not rooted, I do believe, in anything other than mindness and that mindset. And that mindset was his entrance in, right? It was his way to explore and expand in himself without having, right, a religious belief, right? He did have beliefs, and what they were, I wish I was a participant in those conversations. I lived by his rules, I lived by his quotes, I lived by his example, right? But my beliefs, and this is where the beliefs come in, right? My beliefs were the choices that I was able to make because I wasn't grounded. I wasn't truly indoctrinated into anything, that I was able to make those choices. And a lot of people aren't able to make those choices. A lot of times, people by that time where I was able to understand and have these kind of conversations, that people were probably pretty rooted in their religious beliefs or their political ideas or in those traditions. Grateful, right? The tradition of Christmas stuck around. But that's not everybody's truth, is it? That's not everybody's belief, right? Some people have stronger beliefs. A lot of people have stronger beliefs, but we have to move forward as a whole, right? And I believe that, right, in stepping into some of these different ideas and these different beliefs, that I'm able to pick and choose, right? Maybe that grounding baseline belief that made up that one idea in atheism that is super beneficial, but then they added all this other, no offense, added all this other crap around it, right? And made it a part of that base, right? And I go in there and I'm looking for the base idea, that one true belief that possibly might fit. Sometimes I find it, sometimes I don't. It's my choice in that. So I am grateful that, right, that I believe that I can go off there and not be negatively impacted. And if I'm perceiving that in that highly sensitive, right, empathic manner that I have, that I will sense something that is not true, right? At the very least, not true for me. And sometimes you have to move away from that because it will influence. But sometimes you're so solid in the belief that you have now that it doesn't impact you in any way. You're just offering that respect to somebody to have their own belief. It takes all kinds to make the world, right? Um, Good point about our own marching orders, Cindy. We can only take on only so many causes and issues, but we feel that out. It's through our choices whether or not to get involved in that. Sometimes, because of our friends, our family, our work surroundings, we are, right, we are guided, we are pulled, we are, right, we feel responsible. Sometimes we feel guilty and shameful if we're not feeling like the same as them or marching the same as them. So, at the very least, it's important for us to be around people and surroundings that will allow you that freedom. And I am grateful for the job. Like I said, when I came in live today, I'm grateful for that job that's going to allow me to go in and I get to practice my craft. But right, my craft is only in that consideration and in those kindnesses of what the job is detailed for me to bring to the table, right? But am I not grateful that those mission statements are true for me, are beliefs for me, so it makes it easy for me to go in there and do the job that I want to do and do the job that they want me to do, right? And at the same time, it's beneficial for my customers, it's beneficial for corporate, right? For corporation, because right, it is in that glowing light of success of something working that we can, right, recognize the truth, right? That we talk about being the evidence. And I enjoy and I am grateful that I have that job that I can go off and, right, I can sit here all day long and take in lessons all day long, right? And I can come in here and share those lessons. But after I share this, I could just be going off and doing nothing or doing something that is contradictory to my beliefs. And even worse, contradictory to what I'm bringing to the table, right? So I get to go off to this. I get to go off to this job, and I'm going to give everything I have for 4 days. And believe me, after today, I'm going to be ready for days off, right? But I'll still have 3 days to go, and I'm just going to hack through them, whistling while I work, giving every single bit of it, knowing that I'm going to have 4 days now before I take off, right? Because this is belief, to have a little bit of understanding. I had 4 days off because it was a statutory holiday this week. So my manager, instead of giving me a day's pay, she gave me a day off with pay. Perfect. That works for me amazingly because it took me away directly and gave me that extra day for myself. My days off are for that human part of me. And of course, that human part of me loves, right? Loves learning, loves, right? Moving forward, loves coming here and sharing what I've learned and what I've experienced, right? But at the same time, it is for me. And on the norm, I give a day for going outside and going for walks and, right, doing the grocery shopping and window shopping or visiting sisters or thrifting or something, right, where I am out in nature and I am around people. 4 days. I pretty much stayed in my apartment, but I made such movement, right? Uh, for myself personally, right? And right for that little bit of movement that I may have felt stuck before I had these 4 days off, or maybe I was just beating myself up, making myself feel guilty for not being on it. But I applied myself like a student, doing my homework before I go outside and play. And I could have gone outside and play, but I just carried on because I was enjoying it. I was benefiting from it, right? That I was benefiting from it. And I needed those 4 days of rest because energy would have been dispersed, right? And it would have been given to me because I was, right, in connection, in that energy that the earth, right, just naturally just forces itself in its greetings of hello and its happiness to see me. This is this is how I think when I'm in Mother Nature. It just feels like I'm a USB plug and I've just plugged into the right and I can just go about and just do whatever, right? Now I could truly get myself in the bush and get connected with it, jump in a lake, roll around in the mud. But just being out there is enough. But I have to say, in the past 4 days, I made some movement, and right there wasn't much in the way of Mother Nature. There wasn't much in the way with connecting with other people, except for the odd person in the elevator and in the laundry room when I went to get the laundry done. And I feel pretty amazing. I am grateful, right? Like I said, to have this job, and I'm just going to go off and I'm just going to have a really great 4 days, right? That's how I'm going into it. How it plays out, that's another that's another story, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to give it my best shot. Okay. Um Andrew says, when I started voting, I voted the same as my parents. My mother said she was surprised. She thought I would opposite of her and my father to get back at them. I was surprised to be told that. Oh, isn't that interesting? So maybe those were beliefs that you did believe. Oh, you did. Oh, you thought you would correction. Thought I would vote opposite of my parents. Right? Oh, have a great day. Have an amazing day, everybody. Thank you so much for popping into my lives. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. One more day. We'll hopefully, right, come across something gooder and an experience, a conversation, an adventure, or right, maybe somebody else's. But in any case, I'm off. I can't be late. First day back to work. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.